I'm Lisa Pickering. Welcome to CITV's Press Talk. Here's the most recent news and information from the government of Bermuda.
Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome my colleague, the Minister of Health and Seniors, the Honourable Jeanne Atherden, JP MP, recognize Inspector Robert Cardwell of the Bermuda Police Service, and introduce the new chair of the Bermuda Road Safety Council, Alison Bargett. Thank you for being here. We are here as the Road Safety Council acknowledges the United Nations World Health Organization initiation of Global Road Safety Week for all OECD countries. The initiative observes that driving-related loss of life is among the most preventable of all premature deaths in our society. In Bermuda, because we have such a small population, road deaths and serious injuries impact a large portion of the community. We all know of someone, family or friends of someone, who has been lost to the roads. So the human strife of a result of a fatality or even a serious injury accident is proportionally high in our island. The advocacy for road safety is not new, yet over a 10-year period to 2016, we lost 127 people to road traffic deaths, 93% of whom were males. Police statistics tell us much of this is a result of behavior we can change: impaired driving and speeding. The government has already signaled an intention to explore roadside sobriety testing this year. We are working with the Ministry of National Security, the Bermuda Road Safety Council, and CADA to further discourage impaired driving. And ministry efforts to improve road safety will also include the introduction of speed cameras at various locations around the island. Further, the Road Safety Council and the ministry are diligently working on producing a draft bill in respect of graduated licensing to change behaviors. This is the month of May, yet we still have an exciting year ahead of us with increased tourism, the start of developments for a new airport terminal, and new hotel building bringing jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities. This, together with the excitement of the America's Cup, means there will be vibrancy this summer to the Bermuda Mosaic, not seen in many years, if at all. We should all be able to enjoy this, but with 1,300 people visiting the emergency room a year for road traffic accidents, we have to make drastic changes to our attitudes to motoring to improve our odds. Parents of new road users are invited to visit the Road Safety Council website at bermudaroadsafety.bm and share with their children a variety of information that could save their lives or the lives of others. This information is not just for new drivers, by the way. We could all use a refresher from time to time on how to stay safe on Bermuda's roads. Road safety is a community issue, and we all have a part to play. I would now like to invite my colleague, the Minister for Health and Seniors, to say a few words from her ministry's perspective. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Let me get straight to the point. Road traffic deaths and injuries in Bermuda constitute a serious health problem. Statistically speaking, a male on a motorbike is the most likely combination of gender and mode of transportation that leads to sudden death. Indeed, Bermuda has the third highest rate of road traffic deaths compared to the OECD, while women have the third lowest. Of those killed in traffic accidents in the years 2010 to 2014, which motorcycle riders, pedestrians, pedal cyclists, car occupants, and boat occupants, 79% were motorbike riders. The most common external cause of death, and by that I mean death that is not due to disease or illness, for males between the years 2010 and 2014 was a transport accident. In fact, 43% of male deaths not due to illness or disease were from road traffic accidents. You don't need to be a statistician to get this. Tragically, news reports have a familiar phrase: a male riding on a motorcycle has died of his injuries, name withheld pending notification of the victim's family. It's a report we hear too often. I understand that vehicles are necessary for economic prosperity and social development, but they can do serious harm to human health unless safety is a priority. The Ministry of Health and Seniors has long supported increased road safety and supports the efforts of those who have primary responsibility to drive essential changes. The injuries caused by road traffic collisions can have a severe impact on a person's life. and their consequences can range from temporary pain and inconvenience to disability and chronic pain or death. Globally, studies indicate that typically 40 to 50% of drivers go over posted speed limits. Drivers who are male, young, and under the influence of alcohol are more likely to be involved in speed-related crashes. Road traffic crashes remain the #1 cause of death among young people aged 15 to 29 years. They are estimated to cost countries from 3 to 5% of GDP and push many families into poverty. Global Road Safety Week, being held this week, the 8th to the 14th of May 2017, focuses on speed and what can be done to address this key risk factor for road traffic deaths and injuries. Globally, speed contributes to around 1/3 of all fatal road traffic crashes in high-income countries, and up to half in low and middle-income countries. For every 1 km/h increase in speed, there's a 3% increase in the incidence of injury crashes and a 5% increase in the risk of a fatal crash. I believe that health is an aspect of almost every human effort. I like what the WHO Director General, Dr. Margaret Chan, says, speed is at the core of the global road traffic injury problems. If countries were to address just this key risk, they would soon reap the rewards of safer roads, both in terms of lives saved and increases in walking and cycling, with profound and lasting effects on health. We're standing here together so that everyone understands that we're all serious about reducing road traffic fatalities and injuries. And just before I sign off, I just want to say one thing. It's become very obvious, and we talk about our males, and we talk about the fact that the males are actually out there, and they're the largest numbers of persons with road traffic accidents and fatalities. But like everything else, I'm also recognizing and hearing that the girls, being competitive as they are getting right along up there. This is not something that our women have to do. We have to turn around and we have to say to our men, we love you, we want to keep you, let's slow down, let's all turn around and understand that speed kills. And therefore, it's important for us to turn around and do whatever we can to promote road safety. The Minister of Health and Seniors believes that using our road safely is vital to the health of our population. This week is Slow Down Week. Only you can control your speed, so for the sake of your loved ones, please slow down. Thank you very much. And I'd like to now introduce Ali Bargett, who is Chairman of the Road Safety Council.
Good afternoon, and thank you on behalf of the Bermuda Road Safety Council for joining us today for this start of this Global Road Safety Week. Lots of initiatives going on worldwide as we speak. Bermuda is joining hundreds of other countries in this effort this week, thanks to the UN in collaboration with the World Health Organization. There are slow down days, there are campaigns in schools, activities involving parliamentarians, and symposiums. But sadly, there are also lots of vigils going on around the world for the deaths of the victims of these fatalities and their families. Here at home in Bermuda, we have the Peace of the Rock campaign in full swing and using social media to the fullest advantage in an attempt to reach the youth. Twitter, Facebook, everything. Somehow we have to reach the young people in Bermuda, and training is core. As the Minister said, we're working on getting a fully accredited graduated licensing program together and legislated. Bermuda's consistently in the top 3 for road fatalities in countries in the world. And that's not a position that we want to be in. These collisions are serious and change is long overdue. So since my appointment in January, my main focus has been on making sure that the agencies, everyone involved in road safety, is working in collaboration. We're working together, not duplicating effort by working in silos, that we're all on the same page. And I have to thank Minister Fahy for all of his support, Minister Atherden, Inspector Cardwell, Carter, Dr. Francione, and the Peace of the Rock campaign. It's a cohesive way of working The Bermuda Road Safety Council has changed. We have my colleague here, Mr. Miners, the Road Safety Officer, who does work with the schools and youth and Project Ride. That we'd like to see enhanced and improved. That's a work in progress. The responsibility for making our roads safe does not entirely rest on the government, on ministers, on the police service. It's on all of us. We all need to pay attention, to be courteous when we're using the roads. Use your indicators. I don't really see a great deal of indicators being used in Bermuda. And the more I'm aware of it, the more I notice it. So be your brother's keeper, be the designated driver. And above all, this week, spread the word, slow down, save lives. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Inspector Cardwell.
Good afternoon, everybody. The World Health Organization recognizes that the most preventable deaths occurring in all OECD territories are those that are occurring on the roads. Over a number of years, Bermuda records an average of 1 death on our roads per month. Police investigations into these road deaths continue to reveal that most of them involve alcohol, drugs, excessive speed, or inattention. On occasion, all of these factors are present. Besides the deaths occurring on the roads in Bermuda, Bermuda continues to record a number of road traffic collisions where the injuries suffered are serious, and in some cases, life-changing. These serious injury collisions impact everyone, as the medical costs alone, which are then coupled with the cost of long-term rehabilitation and sometimes lifelong support, are a burden on all motor insurers. That burden is then passed on to the consumer in the form of increasing insurance premiums. Statistically, in Bermuda, males are more likely to be involved in a fatal or serious injury collision. These males will be disproportionately black and will be between the age of 20 and 30, and certainly in the prime of their life. The World Health Organization is promoting through all the OECD territories a Go Slow Week. This week will occur commencing today and end on Friday. This week is an opportunity for all road users to consciously examine the speed at which they are traveling when operating a motor vehicle, and to ensure that they are giving the road use and motor vehicle operation their full attention that is required. As everyone is aware, there is a network of CCTV cameras around the island on most major roads and at most major junctions. These CCTV cameras assist the police in collision investigation, as often we can see what has happened rather than undertake the time-consuming investigation to figure out what happened. I'm going to show a few of these collisions captured on our CCTV network to you. The intention is not to provide shock and awe, but we advise that some viewers may find some of this footage disturbing, as this shows motorists being hurt in traffic collisions. I would encourage everyone watching this footage to consider the following 3 points: how quickly the collisions happened, how each collision was avoidable, and how each collision occurred because of a bad decision. After viewing that CCTV footage, I think everyone can quite easily conclude that every single one of those collisions was avoidable. They all happened in a matter of seconds, and that each collision occurred because of a bad decision or just pure carelessness. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions?
Easy.
What changes would you like to see moving forward as far as educating young riders coming up this way?
I would like to see the graduated licensing program fully implemented. That means legislated. Changes to the current youth licensing scheme. I would like to say thanks to Argus, actually, for supporting a pilot program with 58 students at Berkeley School. They're currently undergoing some training. That's one part of graduated licensing. There's a lot more to it, and it's a 2-year program. But for me, that's the groundwork. Without that, then we will keep our wheels spinning. Without that real training in place, we can't expect to send our youth out onto 225 kilometers of paved roads and navigate 47,000 vehicles with no on-road training.
Can you give us a little insight as to what graduated training is? And you mentioned a 2-year process.
Right.
You look at the 2-year process starting at 14 so that they're licensed at 16, or starting at 16 with the objective of having a license at 18?
Well, with what we currently have in place with the youth license and Project Ride, they can start that before their 16th birthday. I believe they're at 15 when they can start. So that's a good beginning. As you probably all know, they just ride in the car park in TCD or anywhere without a road. And they go around cones, so they learn bike handling and to be able to stop on a line. That's the extent of it. So the next phase of that, with the graduated licensing program that we're proposing, is the same as they have in many, many other jurisdictions. It involves classroom training, bike safety, risk, looking at the mechanics of your bike even. You know, kids now just get on a bike and go. There's a lot more involved. It's the 2-year program involves several sections, and within those sections, different modules. So you would have classroom training. They would go out with an instructor with a dual helmet the first time on a road. But they would also be trained to do what they do with Project Ride, but at speeds that they would be traveling on a road. So the same way that you have your driving test, you wouldn't give someone the keys to a car and say, off you go. You know, you'd have on-road training. It's a very similar situation. One of the key features, though, is 0 alcohol tolerance.
Any word, Inspector, on roadside sobriety checks?
That's obviously an issue that's been debated widely. It's something that we're continuing to work through with the police and the Attorney General's chambers as to what's actually possible. There is now the ability, and we're working through the police on this as well, to at least obtain equipment to have a breath-side test, but that's not random roadside sobriety testing. That will essentially give the police the opportunity to test before arrest as to whether or not that person is in fact appearing to be over the limit, rather than just an officer recognizing perhaps someone's weaving or they smell like alcohol when they lean in a window. So that's what's one part of it, but the other side, of course, is random roadside sobriety, and we're working through that. Going on the back of what Allison said with graduate licensing, one of the reasons, in fact, that I appointed Allison to be head of the Road Safety Council was because of that passion with issues like graduate licensing, along with individuals like Dr. Francione, who's been at it for many, many years to try and improve road safety. So, you know, there's many other pieces to this. The speed cameras, as we said, there's roadside test before arrest, and there's also graduate licensing. It all comes as a package. The piece that people need to take away, as we said many, many times, is it takes a community to also change. It's not always just up to the government agencies to make things happen. It's also up to the community to understand what their responsibilities are.
Any idea, you mentioned you don't have the equipment to equip the police with the roadside checks. Do you have a time frame for that? And looking forward to random sobriety checks?
We're hoping throughout the course of this year. I can't be any more definitive than that until we finish our consultation and in-house discussions.
I'm Lisa Pickering. Welcome to CITV's Press Talk. Here's the most recent news and information from the government of Bermuda.